Hey guys, coming at you with a new kind of a maintenance video for your fidget spinners. If you have one of these spinners like I have that has a cap that comes off and lets you access the bearings. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video. Had meant to do this during the actual video, but I forgot to do it. I wanted to do a couple of shout outs to some really great guys who joined the notification squad. They turned on the notifications in their settings, and so they can be notified whenever I post a new video. So if you would like to get a shout out, just turn on your notifications, leave a comment in the just comments below, and just put something to the effect that you turn notifications on, and I will try to do a shout out for everybody who does turn on notifications and post a comment below. So let me do my little shout outs here. I'm trying to edit the video and hold my tablet at the same time. So my first shout out is to Lemur is a Turtle. And another shout out goes to Mads Rotwit Lunda. And I am not going to try to say the rest of that name. And my third shout out is to Plazd. Is it Plazd? I hope I said it right. Plazd. I appreciate you guys for turning on your notifications and leaving me a comment and let me know that you do enjoy my videos. So on with the rest of this video. Thanks you for watching. Hey guys, coming at you with a fidget spinner maintenance tip. This is my Laughing Walrus black and silver stainless steel fidget spinner. It is a stainless steel fidget spinner with a black coating on it, and it has concentric circles cut out of the black. So it gives it a really, really cool looking optical effect when you're spinning it. And when the light hits it, I like it a lot. It's a really cool spinner. But over time it has had some wear and tear. I've been carrying it around for a few months, and sometimes I carry it in a little velvet bag. Sometimes I carry it in one of these zippered pouches I've recently discovered. I've only had these for a few weeks, but I do carry it around there, and I do wind up setting it on tables, dropping it in the dirt, and just generally getting dirt on it. So I was just going to do some general maintenance on here to keep the spin time as long as possible and as smooth as possible. So just wanted to show you the inner part of it right here. This one does happen to have a brass cap which covers the bearings up and allows you to unscrew it and take the bearings out for easy cleaning. So usually the better spinners are going to have that. Some of the metal spinners that I've run across, they are pressed in, so you have to clean the whole spinner. You can't just take the bearings out and clean them on their own. So let me put this back together, and I was going to do a little spin time test on it to show you an example of how your spinner and my spinner may slow down over time because of accumulation of dust and debris and pocket lint. Who knows what else might get in there, you know. So let me spin this thing up, and I'll show you kind of how the performance has degraded over time because of the accumulation of dust and dirt. And you can see it's slowing down pretty quick. It does have a nice strobe effect, but it is slowing down. And I don't know about you, but people have told me that they can see a skull in that walrus design. I never saw it till somebody actually pointed it out to me. But if you look close enough, you can see a skull. So yeah, you can see this thing is spinning about 1/4 the normal spin time as when I first got it out of the box, and it's almost stopped. I'm gonna hang around till till it actually finishes spinning here. And try to catch it right at the right stop, right about there. So yeah, minute 10 seconds, and I was getting a spin time of over 4 minutes, sometimes as much as 5 minutes, depending on how hard I spun it. And I guess that the barometric conditions and the clouds were just right, and the sun wasn't in my eyes. So yeah, I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna hop on over to the get my cleaning stuff out and show you how I'm gonna clean it up. I'll be right back. Okay, I think I've got everything I need to do all the cleaning. Basically, needed a glass bowl. I got my chopstick. You might be able to use a pencil if you have a very thin pencil. My normal size pencils won't fit into the center of an R188 bearing, so I have to use a chopstick. And I have the little tool that will help unscrew the cap over the bearing here. And I have 100% pure acetone. This is used by a lot of nail salons to remove nail polish off fingernails and clean up stuff. And got to be kind of careful using this stuff because it does put off a lot of fumes. So don't put your head right over the bowl. You do have to use a glass bowl. This acetone, even though this is in a plastic bottle, this is a special kind of plastic bottle that acetone will not eat through. So if your bearings have a plastic guide in them, you might not want to use this acetone on the plastic guide. It could deteriorate it a little bit. It does take a while for the acetone to eat through it. I did an experiment with a full-size plastic spinner. It took almost 24 hours to melt the spinner into a puddle of goo. But I wouldn't want to take a chance on damaging a plastic guide or bearing separator inside of a spinner. So just be careful how you use this. Don't put your face over it. It does put off a lot of fumes because it evaporates very quickly. And one of the things I got, just kind of as a protective measure, is I got this little finger condom, these little finger prophylactics. I'm not sure even what they're called, but they're like a finger off of a rubber glove, and they just slide over your finger. So I'm gonna use this finger to spin this bearing once I've gotten the bearing into the acetone. So I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew this a little bit. Got the wrong side up on that key. So once I get it broke loose, see, I usually just keep mine finger tight. I'd rather have it a little bit finger tight than to possibly strip out the brass threads on the cap. Since the body's made of steel, it's going to be, the threading on the steel part's going to be stronger than on the brass part, the brass cap. So if anything's going to strip, it's going to be the brass. So like I said, just kind of make it finger tight, and then maybe just a little bit of a turn more than that. And let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in there. There's the old bearing. Oh, there's the old bearing. And you can see this, it's hard to see because it is so small, but this one does have a guide in there, and it keeps the bearings separated from one another. That's a little bit of my Texas accent working in there. We got a couple of weird words in Texas like tump. We tump stuff over. So turn stuff over, we tump it over. And we have a unique counting system called another. We go 1, 2, 3, and another, and another, and another. So I think the focus is pretty horrible on this because the camera is trying to figure out what to focus on. But anyway, you can see the little, even though it's blurred, you can see the bearings a little bit. So basically what you want to do is take the bearings, and as I said, this one, if you're going to be doing this with acetone, you've got a plastic guide in there. You want to clean it pretty quick and get it out of there, at least I do, so that minimize the damage to the plastic the plastic guide holding the bearings in there. So I'm going to add just enough to cover the bearing completely, about like that. That's about level with the bearing. And set it aside, and I'm going to just lean it over and swish it around. Swish it, swish it, swish it. Ultimately, the ultimate thing would be to have something that would spin the bearing in there at the same time to thoroughly work the acetone into the bearing and clean out anything that was in there. So I'm going to spun it with the wrong finger. There. I'm breaking my own rules by touching acetone. I've used acetone in the past, and not really had an issue with it. So, but there are some people who might be allergic to it or have some type of skin reaction to it. So just be careful with it if you're using it and don't know what you're if you don't know if you're allergic to it or not. So I'll give it another good swishing. I may do it 3 times just to be certain that I get it completely swished in there. I should have. I tried to put one of those little condoms on my thumb, but my thumb's too big for the finger condom, so it kind of lets me out. And drop it down there one more time. So you can see this whole thing doesn't take but maybe 5 minutes to thoroughly wash it out with acetone. The more I do it with acetone here, I'm leaning back towards going to my dishwashing liquid. Oh yeah, now I can feel it spinning freely now. That third washing seemed to do another trick. I don't know if you can hear that or see that, but after the second washing, it actually was still stopping when I'd spin it. So I'm going to do it a 4th time just to see if I can get a little bit more performance out of it. So maybe 4 times is the charm instead of 3. Oh yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, because on the second time, the second cleaning, it was not spinning freely like this. It wasn't spinning as long or as freely, I don't believe. So I'm just kind of wiping off the acetone. It will evaporate very quickly, but I was trying to hurry the process along. Some people say to take compressed air and blow these out. So I haven't done that before, but I have what I call my reverse vacuum cleaner. It pushes air out instead of sucking it in. So it's going to get kind of loud, and so I won't be able to talk while I'm doing this, but I'm going to try blowing this thing out. Okay, well that was loud enough. And I got it all thoroughly blown out. I never could get it to actually spin. I was trying to make it spin, but I guess it's just too slick, too smooth. There's nothing for the air to go up against, no friction for the air hitting the spinner. But I know you can't see that, and I really can't see it either, but I can hear it spinning. And it's just spinning and spinning and spinning, which is pretty amazing. So let me get the old frame back there and put the cap back on it. See if I got the cap right side up. And get the threads started right. I usually turn it counterclockwise to feel the threads go into place, instead of trying to go clockwise and cross-threading it. So I go backwards a couple till I feel like the threads are evenly touching the inside threads. Don't know how to explain that any other way, except it seems to work for me just to go backwards a half turn or so before going forwards, and it kind of helps prevent me from cross-threading the brass threads onto the stainless steel and ruining the threads. If you've ever cross-threaded a bolt and nut, you know what a hassle it is. It feels okay at first, and you figure, well, I can just crank that thing down and fix it and get it completely bolted in place. And about a fraction of an inch before it's supposed to bottom out and tighten up, it just locks up, and you wind up having to redo the whole thing. So there you go. got that in place. I'm going to put the bottom, I like to put the female side through there first because it fits the opening in the R188 much better and makes it easier to start the top one. If you put the top one in first, then you have to wiggle it back and forth and try to align the threads with the female part on the bottom. So this is just quicker for me. So as you see, I didn't really torque it down or anything, just finger tight, both the cap on the inside and the cap on the outside. And we'll move things around here a bit, and I will try to get it all set back up the way it was. Okay, let's see. I've got the old caps back on here. I've got the inner cap secured back in there and the outer cap. Each one of them is just a little over finger tight so that they don't strip out the threads on either one of the sets of caps. And let's see what kind of performance improvement I may have gotten by washing out the bearings. Alright, there you have it. Almost back to the old original spin time of just over 4 minutes. So about 3 minutes and 48 seconds on this one. So this thing has tacked on, what, about, tacked on about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to the spin time by keeping your bearings clean. If you like these kinds of videos, like, subscribe, thumb it up, thumb it down. Let me know how you feel about it, and be on the lookout for the giveaways. You can always visit www.frankensleeve.com. My name is spelled the same way as my channel name. I'm working on doing my mega giveaway. Turn your notifications on so that you will get the latest updates from my channel, and you'll be kept in touch whenever a new video gets put out, and you'll be able to find out the status of the mega giveaway. Talk to you later.
Well, that's the end of the film. Now here's the meaning of life. Thank you, Brigitte. Well, it's nothing very special. Try and be nice to people, avoid eating fat, read a good book every now and then, get some walking in, and try and live together in peace and harmony with people of all creeds and nations. And finally, here are some completely gratuitous pictures of penises to annoy the censors and to hopefully spark some sort of controversy, which it seems the only way these days to get the jaded, video-sated public off their fucking arses and back in the sodding cinema. Family entertainment? Bollocks. What they want is filth. People doing things to each other with chainsaws during Tupperware parties. Babysitters being stabbed with knitting needles by gay presidential candidates. Vigilante groups strangling chickens. Armed bands of theatre critics exterminating mutant goats. Where's the fun in pictures? Oh, well, there we are. Here's the theme music.